Hi and welcome back. It's Christy. You want to hang out in my bathroom with me? I have looked for places with good lighting, and my best lighting is in the bathroom. So welcome. Come on in here. Come join me. We're going to talk about a subject that's been, I don't know, this is a hard one for me to share, but I'm going to do it anyway. In my last video, I had said I like to go to prison, and I'm just not quite as bad to the bone as I made it sound. It's minimum security, so everybody there, they're working, they're coming and going, nobody's handcuffed. There's a small area where we can go walk around, and so yeah, I wanted to clarify that. But I had a visit with my son one day, and I said, I'm just having a really hard time knowing if I really should do the one about fentanyl. And he was like, why? And I said, well, it makes you sound so bad. And he kind of looked at me, laughed, he grabbed my hand, and he said, Mom, I know I'm a good person, I know I have a good heart, but you want to share a story, and you want to be honest, and you want to tell everything, and this is part of our story, and I'm behind a fence for a reason, so I think you should tell it. I agree. I think he's right. So also in that visit, we had went back inside, and there's just different tables with families sitting at them, and I'm talking to him, and I'm still preoccupied about making this video. So I'm looking at him, and I'm like, should I do the fentanyl? And he looks at me and he goes, what? And I'm like, should I do the fentanyl? And he starts laughing. And this is when I know, like, now I'm the old lady. He's like, Mom, you're so cute. He's like, think about what you just said in here and what it sounds like. And I was like, yeah, I'm saying, should I do the fentanyl? I really don't think anybody was paying attention. People can play games in there, or they're in their own conversation. I've really never overheard anybody else's, but he did have a good point. Okay, so there came a point in time where he had been living with his dad and working with him, and he just started messing up, and it was to the point where his dad couldn't help him out, and I couldn't help him out anymore. And so he was forced to live in his car. Now, that's a really hard thing for a parent. I mean, when you know you've done everything you can and you can enable them, you have to let them go, but you're worried every night about, what they're doing and what's going to happen to them. So when they're using, usually their cars aren't in tip-top shape, and he usually, he used to take pride in his car, but at this point, he'd been driving around on a donut tire, I'm not sure for how long, and he had so much in his car because, he may have been homeless and he may have been an addict, but he still wanted nice clothes, so his trunk was full of clothes, full of tools, full of bags of, I don't know, I call them tweaker bags, just cords and chargers and miscellaneous items. I don't even know. And often they may have more than one of those bags, like 2 or 3. So he pulls up here one day where I live, and there's a lot of cameras down in the parking garage. And he's very upset. He's pulling things out of his car. His tire's in the back seat. There's, I don't know, cups, just stuff all over the place. And he's like, look how I'm living, look at this. And all I could think is, we're on camera, people are looking, but this is my son, this is sad. So I'm trying to look normal with, leaned up against our car with the donut on it, and helping him organize things, taking things to the trash, and kindly persuading him he needs to leave. Maybe 2 weeks after that, and I'm not positive if I have all the time frame right. I mean, gosh, with all the excitement I have, I can't keep it all together. But he had called me. He had ran out of money. He had told me a while back that anybody who had used heroin, that just was almost impossible to get now. That the only thing that was really coming across was fentanyl, and so many people who used other drugs were forced, or they made the choice to do the fentanyl. And fentanyl apparently is much stronger. It stays in the system a shorter amount of time, and so they are constantly chasing that high and also deathly ill without it. Well, I wasn't going to help him get more fentanyl, so I'm like, come here, I will try to help you through this. Now, some people would say, like, tough love, leave him. For me, tough love, leaving him and letting him live in a car was plenty, but coming off fentanyl, I mean, I think he might have committed suicide if he wouldn't have had somebody with him. So he was freezing cold, sweating, I think probably running a fever. He had goosebumps, restless leg syndrome, thrashing, just groaning, begging God to just take him, and I'm begging God, please don't. And I knew he had a prescription for Suboxone or Suboxone, I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced, which is a medication to help with withdrawals from heroin, and a lot of people choose to use that when they're trying to get clean. Well, you have to wait 24 hours for your system to clean out, and so it was a long, long night, and I truly didn't know if he'd make it through the night, and I knew taking him to a hospital there wasn't anything they would be able to do. So he wasted 24 hours, he takes the Suboxone, and he's worse. It's terrible. And then I don't remember if I found out from a clinic, I don't remember everything, but I do know that I was told, well, it doesn't work with fentanyl. If anything, it intensifies the withdrawals. So the only thing that's going to help is methadone. And there are methadone clinics, but I'm not positive, I think you have to wait a day after you sign up to go. And I could be wrong on that. But I know it was a weekend, and I had to wait to get him into the clinic. And when we were headed there, we went down the elevator, and the entry where you come in here, I'm not quite sure how this had happened, but a man he had gained entrance into the entryway and was passed out on the floor. And now if I'd have been alone, I'd have probably got back on the elevator and went upstairs, or I would have ran to my car. But my son, I mean, as sick as he was, I mean, he does have character enough where he ran to the man. He shook him. If I try to talk like my son, it'd be like, bro, you all right? I'm just kidding. Anyway, I do love that about him. And he still was pretty sick for a couple of days, but then he started coming around, and had to let him leave again. And I guess I really feel like as communities we need to come together. We need to do something. I'm going to tell you, I would say 8 out of 10 of the people that are serving time, at least where he's at, it's addiction. It's nothing else. And I can't say that I think it's absolutely wrong, because I do believe it saved his life going there, but I think we need more options. I know one guy that owns a sober living, and he's a great guy, and he runs a great place. But I also believe there's a lot of sober livings out there that are not the same, and they are paying money to be there, and then they're paying utility bills, and they're sharing a room with 2 or 3 other guys, and then they're buying everything else, like the food. So it's not cheap, and it's not very private, and I'm going to say there's a lot of them where they are using. And then trying to get them in somewhere, it's pretty hard to do. I just have really strong opinions about this, and I personally do know a couple of people that have lost their children, and I cannot imagine. So in the next video, I'm going to talk about when I got the call he'd been arrested, and then the one about the court. So I'll see you in the next video.